Okay, and welcome back to the Coach and AD Wednesday Night Live on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. I do apologize to everybody, but with the little storm that came through, knocked us off the internet, and you just got a live radio, live internet. You got to deal with what you got to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to do it.
So you're watching. It's Wednesday Night Live. It's the head volleyball coaches roundtable. We're talking to Nichols St. Louis from St. Vincent Academy, Susan Berry from the Habersham School, Hannah Hunter from Calvary Day School, and Bridget Slack from Country Day. We never got Julie Jones to hook up from Savannah Christian, but ladies, I appreciate you being patient, and let's pick it up where we left off. We talked about how the girls are happy to be playing, and you're playing one game at a time. It's a coach's cliche. Play like it's your last game, and any one of you guys, or girls or ladies, can answer this. I mean, it's the truth now in the year 2021, and that's the way it's going to be throughout the whole year, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And we're a smaller school. I've got 3 seniors, but they saw, like Chad mentioned, their brethren, so to speak, last year not get to play in baseball. And that was tough. And they don't want that. They want to be able to have this season. A lot of them didn't get to have a club season of much extent. So they're trying to get film. One of my girls is trying to get film to send to some coaches now. And so this is really important for them, for their future.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, as well. When you talk about the recruiting aspect for kids with, uncertainty of club going into the fall, knowing high school might be only film, how's that played into the other programs? We'll start with St. Vincent's. How's that played in as well to how important it is for these kids to get things on film? So if they're wanting to play in college or go to that next level, how has that been for them? And, really, and then we'll also talk about the parent perspective in a minute, but talk about, the importance of kids getting stuff on film to get out to coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important for them to have something to show. So I actually just had individual meetings with the girls to try and see and make sure that we pinpointed who it is that wants to go to college for volleyball so that we can kind of make sure that we focus and start recording everything, because we don't know when it might end. I mean, we hope that we're going to get the whole season. We're hopeful that it's going to happen and we're going to make it all work. But at the same time, you have to prepare for the worst. So, I mean, we just talked about how we needed to kind of get film from absolutely everything, make sure we put it together, have her get her list together, get it out immediately for lots of people, because there's a few of them that want to go. And it's just, I mean, it's a different climate. And I feel like it's a completely different recruiting process than what I think everyone's kind of used to. Generally, you have these gigantic tournaments that are club tournaments where there's all these opportunities to be seen. But right now it's going to be more so based on like writing a letter to the schools that you really want to go to, sending some tape in, and like just having that possible opportunity versus being able to be seen on a court and actual play. I mean, it's hard because a lot of programs too, a lot of college programs have been shutting down as well. So, I mean, maybe they have more time and maybe they'll be able to come watch some matches, but I mean, it's a lot. They don't come to high schools anymore, really.
Yeah. Bridget, I would ask you as well, from being, I mean, most of all, you being collegiate players, but also coaching on collegiate level. What would you say, about that as well, being a former college coach and looking back at now the scene of what volleyball is with possibly not having, club in the fall and kids trying to recruit it? What advice would you give them as well?
I was on a call. So I just came from the club world too when I was in Texas, and we had a couple calls with some college coaches. And one of those things that they mentioned was like, now is a great opportunity for recruits to actually like showcase their personality and not just their skills, like actually like picking up the phone and having these conversations with coaches, or like telling them what's the like most exciting thing that you've done in quarantine. Like what's a place you've been able to travel with your family? Like what's something you're thankful for or was a blessing in disguise during this time? So actually, because I think that's a huge part of the recruiting process too. There is obviously the skill set, but these are the people hopefully you spend either 2 or 4 years with, for depending on where you go. And there's a genuine friendship and like a family bond that needs to happen. So you want to make sure that it's a place where you feel comfortable, and where you feel like you would fit in and their values match yours. And I think it's a plus in the fact that it really, really slows down recruiting by default. But I think it also takes the pressure off of kids feeling like they have to commit because someone on their club team just committed. I think people can feel their level a little bit more by conversations as opposed to feeling they need just a big name.
Hannah, one thing I was going to ask you with Tinley, I felt that we've seen this a lot in the football world of kids committing early just because of the unknown. And I think looking at Tinley, committing to College of Charleston, pretty early before going to your senior year, and we've seen a lot of that in the football world. Kids, getting offers and saying, "Hey, I'm going to take it because I don't know what else might be there, even 2-3 months from now." So talk about that a little bit of the experience you've had seeing Tinley go through that process.
Yeah, I think there's so many things you just can't prepare for, and obviously coronavirus is one of those. And so her and I have had conversations after all of this, and she just kept saying that it was such a blessing that it was kind of a check off her list because of the craziness and because of the uncertainty. But I do think that with being recruited, it's such a game, and the game has really changed with all of this. And these college coaches are trying to run a business, and they're trying to find pieces in that business to be successful. And so I think that it's gonna change the way that some really talented athletes kind of fall through the cracks. I think that there's going to be some players that don't get seen the way that they normally would. And so finding ways to be creative, finding ways to make a connection with a coach that traditionally you would have done at a club tournament or a national qualifier or something along those lines. I think that just finding ways to be creative, exactly what Bridget said, just putting yourself out there in new ways, and hoping that something comes along and these coaches are able to see them in a new light.
And you're watching Wednesday Night Live right here on the internet on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. It's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report Wednesday Night Live with the coach and the AD. I'm going to go up to Susan and Susan Barry from the Havisham School. You play in the Georgia Athletic Private Parochial Schools Association. Is the level of volleyball on that in that association different than what you're playing here around town? Because you girls can play with the top-notch schools right here in Savannah, Georgia.
Yes, the level is different. It is, and nothing we can do about that. The size of the league fits the size of our school. We're a smaller school, but we're really thankful for the other schools, for Hannah and Nichols and others who schedule with us and allow us to play. It's great. We enjoy the competition so much, and we'll get to play Calvary for the first time this year coming up soon. It's going to be fun. With Hannah and I and Nichols, we all know each other from club. So yeah, there's a good group of coaches here, and I'm sure Bridget will become part of that too. And so it's a difference, and we're thankful for the opportunity to play some really good schools here, and thankful for some girls that I've had who are really good players and who have talent and who have been willing to share it with the Havisham School, and I've enjoyed coaching them.
And if you want to watch tomorrow night, you can head over to St. Vincent's. St. Vincent's and the Havisham School are going to go at it. Now, yep. I'm going to talk quickly, and I know the AD's got a question for you, gals. But Nichols, Coach St. Louis, if we want to come watch that game tomorrow night, is it open to the public? Are there protocols that we have to follow?
No, so it's actually at Haversham's hosting for us. So
okay.
You can talk about the facility because you probably know a lot more. Yeah. I just have like the little details.
We play at the Boys Club on Waters Avenue, Jenkins Athletic Club, which is a super nice court, but the gym itself is not very big in general. So it's actually a really fun environment when there's not a coronavirus going around, because you get a bunch of people packed in there and it's loud and it's great. And our student body really supports us. Unfortunately, right now we have to limit it to 72 people who can come. So our tickets are like gold. We hand them out, and I tell them my girls each get a limited number, and I say, give it to the people you love the most. And so that's who will be there cheering us on. So we wish it didn't have to be that way, but we got to be careful. We got to be wise.
Well, it'll be really busy at the Boys Club tomorrow because we got senior night. We're playing. We picked up a softball game because we're supposed to play Johnson tonight. Mm-hmm. That got canceled. And so we picked up St. Vincent's. We're playing them tomorrow night at the Boys Club.
We're moving in.
What time are you guys playing?
We're at 5.
Yeah, no, we're both
fantastic. I don't think I'm going to take Gate tomorrow night because I'm not going to want to manage that nightmare.
I know. Well, at least y'all are outside, so you can spread out.
Yeah, we'll try to social distance around the outfit. How we're going to find parking, we'll deal with that tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be there and manage parking tomorrow night.
Get there early.
Let's do that. Okay. But one thing I do want to ask is the protocols in your league similar or different, more or less, than what we're dealing with in Georgia high school? And I'm sure you ladies were talking about that maybe beforehand, but walk me through that, Susan.
Yeah, everything's the same except we don't switch. If I play a region match within gaps, we won't switch sides between sets. We'll stay on our side. Therefore, we're allowed to have a bench because we're not sharing a bench with anybody, so the girls don't have to stand. But standing's really not a big deal either. Everybody does it in club. That's real, and nobody is required to wear a mask on the court. That's optional. On the bench, we do wear them. So it's basically very similar. All the cleaning in between. We're cleaning everybody. I've never been so clean in my life.
Sanitizer showers.
Right. The boys club has never been this clean before either, by the way.
I bet. Well, staying on that, and we'll kind of go around the room here, starting with Bridget there. I know for our region, like us, Christian, Country Day, St. Vincent's, we've all made decisions that, hey, when everybody comes into an event, they're going to wear masks as patrons. But talk about how you guys have just thought about the process of, will volleyball look or feel different because of the things that are implemented, or is the game going to be the game and all the other stuff is just left up to the administrators and everybody else to take care of? How have y'all felt about that or talked about that amongst yourselves?
Well, I think for our standpoint, like our campus is just like a masked campus. So, I mean, I think all the schools would go along with what their school's policy is and like what their region policy is. Everybody's first priority is to keep the kids safe. And then I think outside of that, it's just what are we able to do to make it comfortable and to make it doable, essentially. I know that I asked our players early on in regards to the mask, I said, I know it's not comfortable because I'm coaching in one too, but I'm not asking if it's comfortable. I'm asking if it's doable. So, like, if you guys want to play, is this something that we can do? And then, I mean, as far as like high fives and handshakes and like all this other stuff, like that's such a big part of volleyball. Like that's what just, I think, makes it so fun and such a unique sport. And then you also like never realize how much you do something until you can't do it. So you never realize how many high fives you gave or how many like back taps or how many like group huddles you did, or like even when we said good luck yesterday at the game, like they walked on the 10-foot line. Like it was just completely different feel than the normal, but the game itself is still the same. And so I think if you still love the game, then like you're willing to do whatever it might look like to play it, which is kind of what we touched on earlier.
Well, Hannah, knowing this weekend is going to be your guys' first match, our first match at Calvary up in Atlanta, and that situation is no fans, no fans at the game. It's just going to be an empty gym playing volleyball, which, hey, it's exciting that you get to play volleyball, but have you talked to the girls any about, for probably the first time ever, walking into an empty gym to compete and what that might be like?
Well, it kind of is a clean slate. And I tell the girls a lot, like, you are what you make it. And I think allowing them to just focus on just the team, just the players, and really we're eliminating by the rules, we're eliminating all of the distractions. And so going out and playing volleyball. And so I'm excited. I think it's going to be different. And I think there's going to be a weird sense of nervousness, of a quietness that we're probably not used to. But I think
hopefully somebody's playing some music. Hopefully some music in the background there.
We'll bring our speaker up for pregame and all that. But I think I'm excited just to see what they do with it and how they even grow in just one day, and how they are able to bond in new ways and get creative. Like Bridget said, I mean, it's weird when you're like, go to high fives when you're like, oh, wait, just kidding. And so coming up with ways to still feel connected and still feel like the people next to you are there for you, and doing it in a safe way it's just been a different element in coaching that I think we've all kind of grown from throughout the last couple of weeks to months.
Well, yeah, I mean, all four of you said it. I mean, you've never had a match where you didn't play in front of anybody. The Habersham School tomorrow at the Jenkins Boys Club, letting 72 people in there, so there'll be some people in there. But over at St. Vincent's? Are you going to have people in there? Is my good friend Diana Tootin, the athletic director, going to let people in there? She's going to be there. You can't come in.
No, we are definitely having spectators. We have one of the smaller facilities.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not as small as the boys club, but it is a little bit smaller. So we are going to basically have to watch our capacity because we do need people to separate, but we can't really put a limit on it because if they're in the same family, they can sit together. So we can't really put a number on how many people can be in there. So we basically kind of have to just monitor it and make sure that people are distancing themselves. So for us, it kind of changes to where I know the issue is now we're telling people to space out, put your mask on, all that fun stuff. But no, we are keeping spectators, but we're also going to stream it since we are a small facility so that we can kind of get some people to watch it that way because we know some people aren't going to be able to make it. So
now I got a question. Anybody can jump in right on this. Are your expectations for the girls on the court and off the court, as there is no COVID-19? I mean, student athlete. I mean, your expectations, are they the same, or you're going to be a little lenient on them?
No, they're the same.
They are the same.
We're going to coach them up no matter what the situation.
yeah.
Yep.
So as far as facilities go, and we know 3 schools really, Calvary, it's bigger than the Jenkins Boys Club in St. Vincent's, and Country Day, you got that huge gym. As far as facilities going, are there any school recommendations or school protocols that must be followed?
I know as a region, we all decided that you have to mask at all of our games just because we wanted consistency across the board. And that was something that they kind of came together and just decided as a group, which I think helps because that way we don't have to have parents wondering what the protocol is going to be here versus there. So I know that masks for spectators are required. We're checking. I feel like we have to wear masks on the sidelines, even if it's not a switch, but I might have to reread that one. But yeah, I mean, basically get used to seeing that much of someone's face.
Well, last night, I was watching Hard Knocks, which is on HBO and football. And so the head football coach for the LA Rams, he got tired of wearing the mask because he got tired of his players not being able to see his emotion. And so he went and put the clear one on. He's like, hey, I'm going to wear this every meeting. I'm going to wear this every game because I want my players to see my intensity in my face and see my eyes. Has any one of you thought about, hey, I might not go with the mask. I'm going with the clear one so they can see me?
I wanted to practice one time as a joke. Well, it's not funny. I mean, it's definitely a protective measure and it should not be laughed at. But I have my mask and the shield on just to see if the girls could take me seriously. And it lasted about 5 minutes. So,
no, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
Has anybody else tried it? Tried the shield?
I've not. I thought about it, but I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard to get used to, I don't know. Yeah. It just feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I need
We're gonna have to come up with sign language or something. Come up with some signals.
Sign language. So we've got some signs down. It's just hard to you don't realize how much you read lips too and loud circumstances.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we played at Richmond Hill the other night and they could not. They needed to be able to see my lips to really know what I was saying. So that was tough. But if that's the hardest thing in life, we can work around it.
We'll work.
I got one question for the newcomer here to the Savannah area, Coach Bridget Slack from Savannah Country Day. Have you been enjoying Savannah, even though it's COVID-19? I mean, you played at Alabama, you're upstate New York. This is a new area for you, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, I like the South. Went to school down there. Definitely like it. I do like the area. It actually, coming from Houston, it actually reminds me much more of my hometown feel and size of Indiana, in Fort Wayne. So it feels like home. It feels good. It feels comfortable. Everyone has been above and beyond friendly, as is standard for the South. But I mean, everyone has just been so accommodating and super helpful with moving, with COVID, with recommendations, with school stuff, with these meetings. I mean, and I kind of feel like it's one of those strange situations where everyone's kind of in the same boat that I am, even though I'm the new one. No one else has done this either. So I don't feel so alone as the newbie in that regard. So that makes it a little bit more comforting.
And I guess Hannah, Susan, and Nichols, you can tell her that the volleyball coaches are a close-knit group, right?
Yeah, I mean, those that I know, and I happen to be blessed to know several, they're great people. I mean, I love Hannah Hunter. I'll love Nichols too, but I get to know her better. But it's
I love you too.
Hannah, you know I love the Hunter family, and you're special.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all respect each other. There's a level of before the game, there's a camaraderie of we're all females and we're all, working to do our best to impact these kids' lives. And then when the game turns on, we all kind of say, let's go. And there's a level of competition that I just respect with all of them. And, you never know what you're going to get. You never know, who's going to bring it. And it keeps us all on our toes. We all have really, amazing programs. And so I think that there's just a level that allows there to be a really fun atmosphere and further the game of volleyball, which I know we all love to do.
And
I appreciate, Carl, I know that I could, because I've done it with Hannah, and I feel like I could do it with Nichols, and I'm sure with Bridget. As I've texted her, I've watched a match that Calvary and Savannah Christian played a few years ago, and I was like, hey, y'all went, I don't know if it was against Savannah Christian, but one of the teams, and you went to a fifth set. Why did you choose to start in that service rotation? And I picked her brain, and she told me and enabled me to learn, and so I appreciate that.
Well, it's just a lot of fun watching the volleyball in Savannah. A lot of our girls play Club Savannah or other club teams, and they're known all over the state. And it's not just the Atlanta area now it's down here in Savannah, whether you're in GAPS or Geezer or Skeezer or Georgia High School State Association. Ladies, you do a great job. I'm looking to see what Bridget does with those Hornets over there. Thanks for coming on, AD.
Yeah, just appreciate you guys. I know you got families to get back to, kids to get back to, school to get ready for, and preparing for everything. But thank you, ladies, for joining us. Appreciate what you do, and most importantly, the lives you impact every day, making other strong female athletes come down to Savannah.
Thank you.
And
thank y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We're here every Saturday morning, and we have an athlete of the week. We want you guys, as I say in New York, we want you to tell us who they are. We don't want to go picking them. So you got a girl that's done something special, whether it be spikes, kills now, not spikes, okay, or aces or digs, whatever you want to call it. Set, bump, and spike, that's what I still call it. So just let us know. We'd love to have you kids on.
Will do.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Week, go get them.
All right, thank you.
Hi, y'all.
Wash those hands and make sure you wash the nets.
Yeah, and the balls.
Don't use alcohol on him, because then he'll have to buy some. Well, I'm an AD now too. Yeah, they're
What we might just hand sanitize the whole court. We'll see.
Yeah.
Best of luck, Bridget. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Have a good night, you guys.
See you later.
Bye.
I mean, just the coaching profession in this area, whatever sport it may be, there's a camaraderie. They love each other. They respect each other.
Yeah.
And that's what's special about it. And, you got to give these ladies, they're the first group, besides the softball coaches, that are dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic. And, it's just sad to see that not everybody's starting, but you know what? Different agencies have different rules, and we all got to do what they tell us.
I mean, that's what we'll work on next, is getting the softball coaches on, because those other ones have been playing as well. And I think it's great to get feedback from, hey, how that's going. You saw that. Some of them started playing, some get ready to play, but their perspective's different. The student-athlete's perspective's different. They know that at any time this could go away. And so just them, their intensity level every day practice. I mean, kids walk in the gym, and they're super excited. It's not like, oh, my God, I got to practice. Like, oh, I cannot wait to go to practice. And we got – kids are just super excited about going back to school and seeing people. So hopefully all that gets to go as well.
Yeah, it's been a rough time for everybody, and we're still going to continue to push on. And, I got to love Calvary's new saying, uncommon, because this year is very uncommon. Very uncommon. So once again, we'll be back Saturday. I have not lined up any guests yet because I've been swamped with setting up It's Learning, school, athletic director protocols, cleaning stuff. But we'll have 3 exciting guests on. We'll have an athlete of the week. Once again, we'll always try and have a coach and somebody special in the Savannah area sports arena. So anything else you got, boss?
Man, get ready to go home and get some dinner. So glad to do it.
All right.
What everybody's going on Soundgarden.
Let's go. We got to talk about what's here at Coach Cornwell tonight. Not a big crowd out there for Pub Star Trivia, but every Wednesday night we have Pub Star Trivia here at Coach's Corner. Come out and see if you know the different topics, okay? It's a tough on me. I can probably ace the sports, but I don't know about those other things, okay? Thursday night, a new night, we're going to have the Nashville Nights. That means we're going to bring in artists that are geared towards Nashville. Tomorrow night will be Brett Stafford Smith here in the Soundgarden. Friday night, we got the Charlie Fogg Band. And on Saturday, we got
the Island Boys. They get it, man. It's awesome having those guys back on stage. Great crowd for those always. So looking forward to having the Island Boys back out.
Featuring Jason Courtney. So once again, go to Coach's Corner. Go to their events. I can't rattle off the price of tickets off the top of my head, but it does cost to go to some of these concerts. It's packed every weekend. It's all sports, all music, all the time right here at Coach's Corner. So I'd like to thank our sponsor once again, John Henderson, Adele Henderson, for presenting the Coach and AD, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, Wednesday night, Saturday night from the Sound Garden, and it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network.
You got to thank Lawrence Bennett as well because he keeps the light on. He's like Motel 6.
Yes, he keeps the lights on for us. He doesn't shut them off, okay? So remember, every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., right here from Coach's Corner, you can listen to the Coach and AD on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Has it been the best week ever so far for you? May you hit it out of the park, whatever you're doing, but Coach has got to give you some advice.
Wash your hands and use some hand sanitizer.
God bless. Be safe. Wash those hands, and we'll see you.
Mask up. Wear a mask. Saturday
morning with some updates with local high school sports scores. I can't wait to do that. Haven't done that in a long time. He's got his mask on. Coach's Corner has masks too, but I didn't get one yet. So hopefully,
don't get food either, man.
Hopefully,
we got to move up the chain.
We don't get food. We don't get masks. I mean, but once again, it's okay. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good week.
See you in the sports universe, Coach's Corner.